Beloved, let me name the real pain. Not the one everyone keeps addressing, but the one underneath it. The one you carry quietly, late at night, after a stretch of days that all felt identical. Because everyone keeps telling you, he's coming. And maybe part of you still holds on to that. But the thing that actually hurts isn't that he hasn't arrived. It's that nothing seems to be moving. Anywhere. Your horizon has been empty for so long that you've quietly started to believe the whole map is frozen. So let me tell you, right at the start, the one thing no one has told you. He's on his way, yes. But here's the part you've never heard. So are you. Hold on to that. I'll come back for it. There was a time you used to look at every new face, every maybe, every door that cracked open even a little. You scanned the horizon because you believed something might appear on it, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not in one dramatic moment, it was quieter than that. You just noticed that looking and seeing nothing there hurt more than not looking at all. So you taught yourself to keep your eyes down, to stop scanning, to expect less, because expecting and being met with empty space again and again wears a person out in a way that's deeper than tears. The map feels frozen. Like life pressed pause on your one thing while everyone else's kept playing. So hear me say this slowly, because I want it to land where it needs to land. Your empty horizon is not a still map. The fact that you can't see movement does not mean there isn't any. Right now, tonight, while everything in you feels like nothing is happening, God is moving a man toward you on a road you cannot see. He is rerouting him, growing him, turning him at corners the man himself doesn't fully understand. The stillness you feel is not the truth of what God is doing. It is the limit of what you can see from where you're standing, and his road is only half of what I came to tell you tonight. Because while you've been watching an empty horizon, God has been moving someone else too, someone you would never think to look for. But first, let me show you what he does on roads like his. Jacob left Beersheba alone, on foot. He had nothing but a staff. Years later, he'd say it himself, "With only my staff, I crossed this Jordan." Genesis 32:10. One man, one walking stick, a long road, and nowhere to sleep but open ground, with a stone under his head, because there was no pillow and no roof. If you had seen him that night, you'd have seen a picture of abandonment. A man with nothing, going nowhere anyone could name. And it was that night, not at the destination, not when he finally arrived somewhere, but in the middle of the road, in the dark, on the stone, that heaven opened, the ladder. The angels ascending and descending, and God standing above it all, speaking a promise that is, of every promise in Scripture, the one made most specifically to someone in transit. Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. Genesis 28:15. Do you hear what God committed to? Not just the destination, the itinerary, the road itself, wherever you go. He didn't say, "When you arrive, I'll be waiting." He said, "Wherever you go, I am with you." The promise was made to a man mid-journey on a stone in the dark. The longest, quietest, darkest stretch of a road has never been evidence of abandonment. The night that looked the most like nothing was the night God said the most. So, if your road feels like a stone pillow stretch right now, hear this. That is not proof the road is empty. It may be the very night the sky is about to open over your head. And if this is the part that reached you, if you've spent years calling your life a waiting room, when it might have been a road all along, stay with me to the very end. Because believing your road is moving for one night isn't the same as walking it tomorrow, when the horizon looks empty again and the flatness comes back. Before this is over, I'll show you where to take it. And in case that sounds like poetry, instead of how God actually works, let me show you how literal his routing is. In the book of Acts, an angel tells Philip, "Get up, go south to a certain road." Acts 8:26. Not a direction, a road. Then the Spirit says, "Go over to that chariot." Acts 8:29. On the other end was a man riding along, reading, who thought he was simply passing the time on an ordinary journey home. From the ground, it looked like coincidence, two travelers crossing paths in the desert. From heaven, it was choreography. That is not a metaphor, beloved. That is God, literally routing two people toward a meeting one of them didn't even know was a meeting. He has always led this way, the same God who went ahead of his people as a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Exodus 13:21. And Proverbs 16:9 says it plainly, "A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps." He may be planning, he may believe, every turn is entirely his own idea. And all the while, the Lord is directing his steps toward something neither of you can see from where you're standing yet. Now, the part no one told you. You've been picturing yourself as the destination, the fixed point he's traveling toward, standing still, waiting while he covers the distance. I understand why. That's how the story always gets told. He's on his way. You're waiting. He moves. You receive. But beloved, that is not the picture. You are not the place he's going. You are the other traveler. Think about the years you've called wasted, the healing that nearly broke you before it freed you, the goodbye you didn't think you'd survive, the move, the season, the thing that rearranged everything and left you wondering what it was even for. You called it standing still. You called it a waiting room. But look again. Every single one of those was ground covered, miles walked, road behind you. There's a quiet little phrase in Genesis after Bethel, after the stone and the sky and the promise. The text says, Jacob lifted up his feet and went, Genesis 29:1. He got up off the stone and moved. And so have you. Every hard season, every surrender, every year you grieved as wasted that was your road. Psalm 121:8 promised it would be. The Lord will watch over your coming and your going, not just where you rest, your coming and going, your movement, your feet were moving the whole time. You just couldn't feel them. You were never in a waiting room, beloved. You were on a road. You just couldn't feel your own feet moving. Think of the birds that migrate. 2 of them, continents apart, neither one able to see the other, both in motion. No one teaches the route the Creator wrote, the way inside the creature before its first flight. And neither bird flies in a straight line. It rides winds, skirts, storms, and every detour that looks erratic from the ground is the only route that creature survives. That is how God moves a man, the pull he can't explain, the corners he doesn't understand, the destination he hasn't seen. But here's the part that matters most. Both birds are flying. The meeting doesn't happen when one bird lands at a still nest. It happens where 2 routes, written by the same Creator, before either bird was born, finally converge. That is tonight's word. Not a delivery, a convergence. Two roads, one God who wrote both itineraries, both of them moving. And the meeting, when it comes, doesn't happen when he finally reaches you. It happens where the two roads were always going to meet. Now let me say some hard, loving things quickly, because I care about you too much to leave them unsaid. The first, don't turn what I've told you tonight into a map, where he is right now, who he's with, why he's taking so long. The enemy will tempt you to do exactly that the moment this video ends.